My name is TEJ NAIK, born and brought up in Goa. Initial years of my life, I've been always passionate about cars and bikes since childhood. I started first with my business called as Kit Art, where I used to make automotive parts, which not many people know of. And I was looking at more ideas, and that's when Powerland came to life. What I feel is India is today is the right place to be in. The economy is opening up.
This is our effort to stay away from politics, stay away from current affairs, etc., and bring as many innovation, as many dream stories as possible to you guys, so that it encourages you, motivates you to take up things which can go global from everybody's point of view. So today I have one such guest whom I would want to introduce briefly and then hand it over to him to talk about himself. So we have TEJ NAIK. He runs a company which is into a very special all-purpose vehicles that they manufacture right here in Goa, and they export to more than 22 countries at the moment. So Tej, welcome to the show. It's lovely to have
nice
you.
Nice to meet you,
a young guy like you, doing such wonderful things.
Thank you.
So first thing first, and let's talk a little bit about you. Who is TEJ NAIK? What has been your school-going days? How have been your college? And just about you.
Okay. So my name is TEJ NAIK, born and brought up in Goa itself. I did my schooling in Manovikas and Mailanutan in Madgaon. After that, so initial years of my life, I've been always passionate about cars and bikes since childhood. So I used to do go-karting. I won the 2007 National Go-Karting Championship.
Wonderful.
So automotive has always been in my blood, it's my passion, it's my goal. And after that, I did my BBA in MES College in Vasco, and then I went to do my Masters in Cardiff University. So when I was in Cardiff University, as I really liked about cars and bikes, I used to visit a lot of this auto manufacturing companies over there to learn. And in 2012, after I finished my graduation, I came down. Actually, initially my parents, my mom especially, was asking me, why don't you take up a job since you're going over there? But I was always motivated to come back to Goa and start something of my own. I started first with my business called as Kit Art, where I used to make automotive parts, which not many people know of. But that business had a limited scale. I was not able to achieve the scale which I was looking at, and I was looking at more ideas, and that's when Powerland came to life.
Wonderful. So I am sure that coming back to India and Goa was a very difficult decision. Having studied in UK
University,
it would have been a tough call. But so what was the that trigger?
So I think when I went itself to the university, I went with a clear vision that I want to come back. So it was not something where somebody forced me or somebody told me you have to come back or you want to do your. I was given all the liberties to do what I want to do, and I think coming to Goa was the right decision I made, and that's why we are here today.
Wonderful. So tell me more about Powerland. How come a lot of people talk about building cars? You're building something which is very different. Very unconventional kind of a product, right? I mean, and obviously you have to then compete with the big daddies from outside of India, right?
Yeah.
So how did Powerland actually come into existence?
Okay, so let me start actually by, I'll take you back to how this journey began.
Yes.
So we manufacture ATVs, right, which are called as all-terrain vehicles. So this idea didn't come from me. The idea came from my father. Because he used to, in his initial years of his life, he used to travel a lot for work. And ATVs internationally are used a lot for farming, for adventure sports. So when he used to travel, he saw this and he thought in the early 2000s, why doesn't he import it and sell it in India? But in India, India is not, when it comes to import duties, it's quite high. and you cannot import and sell, so the costing was not becoming viable. So this idea, he could never execute it. So as I mentioned earlier, when after I started my kit art business, I was looking for other opportunities, and that's when I thought, why don't we start making ATVs, right? Because that's something and it was an idea of my father, but it's a dream which I wanted to execute. And Indian farming sector was picking up, growing. So the initial idea of Powerland was actually for the Indian market, and that's why we launched the diesel ATVs actually, because India is a diesel market, and that's how the the diesel ATVs were launched.
Lovely. And now it is used for what all applications? Is it only limited to farming, or it's evolved into something much bigger?
No, it's much. So we started with diesel ATVs, but India, as you know, was a limited scope, and we decided that we could not limit ourselves just to farming. We have to see other applications. And ATVs are not just for farm, but they also like a lifestyle product. A lot of wealthy people, HNIs, want to own them for their farmhouses. And when they want to own such vehicles, they want, performance, refinement, that fit and finish. And that's why we pivoted ourselves into the electric side of it. And now such vehicles have multiple applications. We use them besides farming, for adventure sports, defense, other multi-utility applications. So people use them in golf courses, hotels and resorts. So it has vast applications, even including solar farms.
Okay.
So there are a lot of applications which people use it for. In fact, one of our one big customer we have is in Chile, where such vehicles are used in vineyards for grape spraying of chemicals. And they actually did a comparison, because they owned 50 Honda ATVs, and the costing which worked out to them, they were saving around $1,500 per year only in operational cost, because of no maintenance and no fuel cost involved.
Interesting. So do you also want to talk about how the growth of the company has been? I mean, where did it start?
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, you took up the electric journey somewhere in 2019.
Yes.
Talk us through a little bit about how the growth has been, how the market has grown, and how Powerland has grown in that market.
Sure. So as I said, we had to take a tough decision in 2019. Diesel market was not going the best what we had planned, what volumes which we were looking for, and the world was slowly shifting. The West was shifting towards electric. Tesla was getting quite popular. So, but none of the big players had shifted to electric. Till today, big players have not shifted the way they have to electric. They are moving slowly. And when we have to look into the global market, we need to have that niche. We need to be a winner in something different to make our product stand out. So we thought, rather than just going into maybe petrol ATVs or further working on diesel ATVs where we have to spend a lot of money, we decided to take a shift or leap into the electric, because one was in terms of the fit, finish, refinement, performance, but other was also in terms of the environmental side of it, the sustainable side of it. And I think that was the right move we made. After shifting to electric, one thing what we did was, of course, to go to the global market or to get international players' eyes, we used the help of internet, which was extremely important.
Of course.
And our focus has always been on performance. So we used, we made one of the fastest electric ATV in the world.
Wow.
So that's
Have
what.
you patented it?
Yeah, so we patented the in-wheel motor technology which we have. So we have got a US patent for it.
Fantastic.
So we got on we posted some videos online, and those
got the attention.
Those videos totally helped. All we did, honestly, in the first 3 years, this is the first year we have actually started marketing. First 3 years our marketing budget was nil. and but we did sales in millions of dollars. We have got investment. We even raised the first round of investment with
wonderful.
that.
This is from an Indian investor or outside?
No, so we raised the first round of investment from a German investor.
Yeah, there goes the story.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
How it can really attract the right set of.
Right. Yeah. So
I would have guessed that, by the way. Germany being the automotive
hub.
of the
Yeah,
world.
yeah. So getting German investors on board gave a lot of confidence to all the other customers also in terms of our brand, and they are not only investors but are strategic partners. So they help us sell our products in the European market in a lot of the major European countries. So it was a win-win for both of us.
Yeah. So during my stint at Tata's, when I was in London, I was fortunate enough to visit the Mercedes Experience Center that they have built. Right,
Yeah, in Germany.
No, they have one in London as well.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I can relate to what you say about, when it comes to cars. I think BMW, Audi, and
in terms of
they
their
have a real good experience to offer.
in terms of their fit, finish, everything, they are the number one.
Yeah, so congratulations, well done on the German investment. I think that's
Thank you so much.
right, route to being global, truly global in some sense.
Thank you.
My next question to you would be that, from what I understand, from what you're telling me, is that this is still an evolving market space in some sense, because ATVs were there, but electric ATVs is a specialized niche kind of market, and the world also is catching up. While you guys have been at the forefront of it, the world is catching up on the same. So I understand that it will be very difficult to explain the market size, but your own growth, how is the multiplier effect for you?
Yeah, so I think over the past 2 years we have been doing 2x, and 2x is with our limited production capacities and with a small factory we have. So we are scaling up on that. So over the next coming years we are looking at maybe next year maybe 3x of growth.
Wonderful. And why I'm asking you this question is for our audience to know that, if you are in the niche space, the multiplier is always going to be much faster.
Much faster.
Yeah.
So as they say, right, you're better off being a shark in your pond than being in a small pond than being a shark in the ocean where the whales are the.
You get to play with the big boys.
Big boys, yeah.
Great, fantastic. So all the expansion or the growth story that you're talking about, is it going to be Goa centric, or I'm talking from a back end point of view or the manufacturing point of view, or are you looking at other places in India, abroad, to set up your manufacturing?
Yeah, so right now the second plant which we're coming up will be in Goa, and that will probably help us scale our production capacities to more than 5,000 units per annum. But in future we look to expand to other countries as well, where we are going to have strategic partners, because there are certain places where you have to do it because of their import duties and taxations. So that's where you need to localize by finding the right partner and set up at least an assembly plant over there.
Wonderful. And how dependent is this industry when it comes to the external environment globally? For example, the Ukraine war and so many other things which are happening around us. Does it really impact your kind of manufacturing? Because I understand a lot of these batteries and the parts of the batteries come from outside of India. So how do you safeguard yourself from these kind of uncertainties?
Yeah, so I think one of the thing is any of these uncertain events which happen, they affect the shipping industry in a big way. So the moment 4x the shipping prices. Yeah, shipping prices goes higher. The moment the shipping gets affected, your lead times go out of this roofs, right? So a standard lead time which was probably 30 days now goes to 90 days. So of course those are that's a part and parcel of every business, but that is one thing where we have taken this decision, where our aim is in the next 2.5 to 3 years go 90% localization, right? So now we are at 60%. This year we are going to be around 65%. By next year we'll be jumping to 75 to 90%. The only thing which is little bit difficult, or which we have to be careful of, is sourcing of the lithium ion cells.
Exactly.
So that right now there are no manufacturers in India, but lithium, lot of these big companies, Exide is working on a plant. So Exide has tied up with S-Volt, and we have actually partnered with S-Volt for batteries. So we are hoping that once S-Volt and Exide start manufacturing cells in India, then that should help us sort most, ease our difficulties when it comes to all these global uncertainties.
Yeah. Tej, we are hoping that our show will be also seen by some of our friends in the government and the regulatory side of the world.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, what is your ask from as a support? I mean, I'm sure you're not asking for money, but from a regulatory standpoint and the local support point of view, from Goa or government of India, what is the thing that you think should change so that this space becomes much more lucrative?
I think one thing is that I think, of course, the Indian business landscape has improved a lot in the last 5-6 years. Lot more startups are coming in. I think the financing and funding has eased up a lot. I think one of the things what can be made better is in terms of certain things such as allotment of land, right? I think in Goa, that's one major setback which most of any local entrepreneur or somebody who wants to start business, the land prices are super high, and maybe they need to have a limited amount of land for Goans, where if there's some interesting business plan, then they have to take that perspective out. From that, I think when it comes to the import-export side of it, maybe in terms of documentation, till today it's still gets difficult in terms of GST and other factors which come into play, where you have to, a lot of times when you're exporting, your cash flow gets blocked because you have to take GST. When you're buying, you have to pay GST, sourcing from local vendors, and then the GST input takes some time to come. So that causes a lot of strain in the working capital. So I think that's maybe one point which the government can make it smoother. They are working. It's been much better from before, and I'm sure they will work on it.
A lot more digital
would happen. Yeah. I think digital is the way to go, because that makes things much easier.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you last couple of questions, and then I'm also going to ask you a rapid fire.
Okay.
But yeah, so what's been your 3 hits and 3 misses so far?
Okay. When it comes to the hits, we can say maybe in terms of one is the right decision when it came to going to electric. That was the hit. Using internet for marketing, that was a hit. The other factor is, of course, being blessed or finding the right partners, was a hit. And actually, fourth one hit which I would like to say is being blessed with the right family who supported.
Mentor, your dad as a mentor.
Yeah, who supported me, because when we started this business, I used the help of MSME loan, and I got small amount of backing from him and my grandfather.
Wonderful.
Which without that wouldn't have been possible. Yeah. So those are the hits which I would like to get. In terms of misses, I think one is, till today we there are so many things, obstacles which come our way. A lot of times delays in new product launches. One is maybe there have been times where we have launched a product too early in the market, which has caused maybe certain issues in terms of quality. and in that pressure to get the product out there, and that is delayed, caused further financial sometimes stress, burden. Yeah. So that's one of the miss which we did. Second miss, I think, was delaying in finding a right partner, where we made a mistake in finding a right partner for the US market. Initially we were in talks with someone, but he gave us lot of commitments in this, and we relied on one person, and we delayed because of that the launch. And US is one of the biggest markets.
So the
75.
hedging of risk did not happen basically.
Yeah, it didn't happen. 75% of the world market, and maybe if that was there, scaling would have been probably would have probably been 5x of where we were today, where we are today. That's, I think, the second miss. Third miss I would say is in terms of maybe I think we have a good team, but right now we need to focus on getting more expertise, certain people from outside, which can help us further
Scale up, yeah.
build up our business. So I think that's the third miss. When it comes to obstacles, failures, I think I can go on and on. So many mistakes which we
That's
do.
the life of an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
I'm
so-
living it now. So
Yeah,
I can.
I'm sure you would know it much better because you have been 23 years in the corporate world.
So
Yeah.
I mean that's a different life, and
Life.
this is a different
Yeah.
life. I can fully relate to you when you say that. Now that we have we are almost to the end of the show. There are aspiring entrepreneurs who will be watching this show.
Yeah.
Goa also is slowly shifting from looking for a government job to actually creating
a
jobs.
job.
A lot of startups that have already registered. If I'm not wrong, around 280 startups is what we have registered at this Goa startup cell. What is your 3 advices that you would like to give to people who are thinking of building a global company?
This is what advice I want to give is from my perspective. I think every business or every line of work, things work differently. But what I feel is India today is the right place to be in. The economy is opening up, especially with the China +1 policy, where people are shifting
True.
from China to other markets, and India is one of those markets where the labor and other factors support. And what I feel is that today capital is also easily available. So rather than for any young budding entrepreneur who wants to do business, maybe I think this is the right time to start your business, to look forward for opportunities. There are a lot of ease of financing is there. MSME loans are available now, collateral free loans are available. There are incubators which are there. So I think that's one factor which you need to do. And second thing is use the power of internet. I think that's one thing where lot of us don't look into or don't consider it. We always come with this excuse that oh, we don't have capital for marketing, we don't have budgets, how do we launch?
Correct.
Right? I think especially for us, I think one of the most difficult thing was we went into a hardware business, and manufacturing and hardware are the most challenging things, right? Because you come under a lot of obstacles, there are a lot of certifications come into play. But taking that keeping that perspective aside, if you're coming into software or any other perspective, I think if you can use the power of internet, you basically can do it's like a free platform for marketing. True. Any social media platform.
And COVID ensured that we use it more often.
Even more, yeah. Even more. So use internet, because without
the faster way to grow.
Without internet, as I said, when we exported to the first, let's say from the first 15 countries of the 22, we exported to all countries without even me physically traveling there or even taking part in any of the expos, right? No marketing budgets, nothing. So I think that's another thing. Third thing is, of course, do what you love to do. But I think, at least what I believe is when you're doing something, do with a purpose. Because when you want to grow, right, it's not only about self growth. What we believe is you have to grow and take people along with you growth. So that may include your employees, your vendor base. I think those things are important. So do something with a purpose, see something which is niche. Don't follow the herd, because when we started our business, lot of people questioned us, like, who's going to buy ATVs
Yeah,
in
exactly.
who's going to buy your ATVs, why don't you all make electric bikes instead?
Correct.
But we were quite sure about what we wanted, because we wanted to stay in this niche segment.
True.
And global is the market, so just because something doesn't sell here, you don't have to limit yourself. World is the market today.
Absolutely. Okay, so quickly a rapid fire for you.
Sure.
Your favorite eat out in Goa?
Favorite eat out in Goa when it comes to Chinese, Asian, tataki.
Okay.
Tataki
Okay.
in Panjim. In Margao it's Galen.
Lovely. Your favorite movie?
Not many in fact, but from Bollywood I love to see is Oh My God.
Okay.
Where they talk about how we have certain
Yeah.
faiths and belief, and
True.
ignore sometimes the realities of life. So
Okay. Outside work, what do you do?
besides my actual work, I look after 15 dogs
Wow.
in our factory. We adopt a lot of strays and give them a new life. Whenever we have time and opportunity, we go to feed strays. We provide them medical or healthcare, whatever we can, because I feel the voiceless deserve a voice.
True.
And there are very limited people doing it, so we try as much as possible to.
Favorite holiday destination? This was the last one.
I don't go much on holidays. Actually,
You don't take holidays?
No.
You should.
So I think it's been. I don't know when was the last time I went on a holiday. Even whatever my international trips have been is
All
purely
work.
for work. But if you're looking at holiday, then somewhere in Europe, maybe Switzerland or Italy. So
Lovely, Tej. It gives me immense pride that
Thank you.
a Goan company
Thank you
like
so much.
something like Powerland has made so much impact that too globally. So it was lovely and it was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, it was an honor to meet you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for seeing this session or episode of ours, and we look forward to connect with you again in our next episode. What I want you guys to also tell us is that what are these questions, what are the type of questions that you want me to ask our next guest whenever we have the next episode being shot. So thank you very much and happy listening.
Like, share and subscribe PBN Bharat.